Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I greet you in the name of our Lord Jesus. How are you doing today? Wherever you're listening to me from, God bless you. I know this video will make the best of you to think most of me, but does it really matter? What you think of me don't seem to matter. I understand that when other people's daddies and mummies are being questioned and criticized, most of us are at peace with it, at home with it. But somehow, when our own spiritual daddies and fathers and mommy and daddy egos are touched, then the venoms in some of us are triggered and released. But it really does not matter. It doesn't make any difference. Now, if I don't say something, or if I should because of wanting to be societally correct or religiously correct, I don't think it would be right to use politically correct and shy away from this. Then I am the number one hypocrite because what this man here is recounting here, I have witnessed it, I have experienced it. And even if you haven't experienced it, you have seen it, you have known it, that some of your fathers in the Lord are very vindictive. There are three pictures on the thumbnail. I'm going to explain why and how the three of them came into place. Now, of course, one of them has already bullied me as well. And as for Pastor Pst Adeboye, you're going to understand why I put him there. I want you to just relax and listen to, the other part of the story that was told by Peter Enenche about Pastor Paul Enenche. If you are very sincere, you know on this channel, I respect Pastor Paul Enenche and I respect every one of them, even those that I probably may have called out the most. I have not lost respect for any of them, but at the same time, we must look at these things. All right, it is true that we have not heard from the other camp, like every one of you who happens to come from that camp would always want us to wait and listen to them. Fair, in fairness, yes, that is true. But since they are not forthcoming with any explanation, and what is in this video is common of what we know some of these people are capable of doing. I don't have any evidence against Pastor Paul Enenche, and I am not going to sit here to tell you that, yes, he is guilty as charged. But I'd like you to listen to this story. It is very, very familiar. It is very, very familiar. The trend, the system, or of operation, the modus looks very, very similar. Now, I'll be seeing you at the end of this video. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Hello, I said, you'd like to hate me? Well, it's your business. But it's very, very important that you share love. See you.
Innocent man in a prison. I was in a prison with a detention warrant without offense. I didn't have offense. There was no offense on my head. It's duly signed by Emmanuel Yana, a magistrate who is presumed to be a pastor. He's a pastor in one of the churches. So you could see the connection. So when we saw that thing, in the morning, where God will catch them, I don't know how they did it again, but the next time I cited the detention warrant in court, what we saw was cyber boiling, section 24. Because it will carry the offense and the section you violated. So they didn't write the cyber bullying, but it was cyber boiling. So it's like the person that called the court. And I was thinking it was a mistake, but the magistrate knew what he did. He knew that sending these people to prison with this number of days on cyber bully, if this thing get to media, I cannot defend it. So he left it open. So some people, anybody that says, okay, maybe that is for murder, is for, you understand what I'm saying? Because he knew that him sending these guys to prison from 13th for 17 days stretch, if he put that cyberbullying on it, it's going to be more indictment on him. So the detention warrant that took me to prison, duly signed by the Chief Magistrate Zone 6 Court, Emmanuel Yana, never had offense on it. And the next time we saw offense on it, it was cyber boiling. They wrote.
What does that mean?
See, which means the person that called the court maybe is a low-level educated personality. So he just wrote what they told him on phone. Siba boiling is they just spell it for him also. So when we got there, we had seen the lapses. Me, I've seen the end already. When we got there and there was rage on social media, Showore sent his lawyer. And I begged Showore's lawyer that, okay, anything you are doing, just add me to it, Barrister Oyege. My barrister too, Abbas Ochogu, also sent in the Barrister Dino. Dino is like our Gani Emi. He don't mind Gani. So Dino came but Oyege had gone far. So I told Dino, okay, just stand and be looking at what they are doing. Other lawyers, Agada, all of them, others came in too. We've seen the end. So when the lawyer was calling them.
And I also sent a lawyer for Abraham there.
Yeah. You sent a lawyer that first time in this thing, yeah. So when they were calling them, they refused to pick. I now told Oyege, oh yeah, activate plan B. I now sued Dr. Peter Enenche at Federal High Court, Enforcement of Fundamental Human Rights. Because the two posts he brought to court, I cannot, what I'm saying, all this I'm saying on this thing here, it's not cyberbully. The religious people are bringing their mindsets that you cannot talk into the society. Cyberbully to me, my understanding of cyberbully is, I don't want to talk. It matters if it's cyberbullying. Let's go to court and see it. But I can have an opinion about you. You can start to preach a message. I have opinion about the message. As long as you put it in public domain, I have opinion about it.
Yes.
As long as I encounter your system, I have an opinion I form opinion about your system. I have the right to air it. Section 25 gives me that right. But when I come to your house, Kel, I come to your house and take your nude picture. I have something private with you and I want to take it out. Or I'm taking it out. That is bully. Or I come to the media and say you are a kidnapper. I have to prove it. I come and say you are a thief or you're a rapist. I have to prove it. And in pressing cyberbully case, you cannot press criminal case on somebody's behalf.
The person must be present.
The person must be present. That's why Daddy Pst Adeboye shouted at the pulpit, you leave that guy. Because what that lunatic called Adama was doing was like telling Daddy Pst Adeboye, come to court and defend this case.
Imagine Adeboye in a court
with his schedule.
And trying to commit that.
Daddy Adeboye will now say, my lord. No, it won't mean my lord. It's even magistrate they went. Your worship. I am Daddy Pst Adeboye. In court, you won't say daddy. I am Pst Adeboye, the pastor of the father of Pentecostalism, current pastor of Pentecostalism in Nigeria. You saw what this guy wrote, what this guy said about me.
It's not true.
No, the guy want to kill me because you have to they have criminalized it already.
Yes.
If Adebe is a civil case, you just fight to the high court. You fight lawyer. You don't need to arrest the guy. You said something about me. Oh, I'm suing you for so and so stuff. And even before you sue in civil case, you give the person 14 days notice to retract the statement. If he doesn't retract, they give him 7 days notice that you are going to court. Before you file a civil case, I don't need to be there. It's lawyer versus lawyer. But when you now go and carry person that installed at the Pst Adeboye, and you now criminalize the process, use police. I know they have some of the spiritual babes. Some of them are not even Christians. They say, Daddy, we can do it. We can arrest him. Then you now start falling for that kind of lunatical gymnastics. So what you are telling us, when Dr. Paul kept us in prison and people saw what we wrote, the mob were clapping for him. But the system, the elites are laughing him.
Understand.
Say, is this why you took them to prison? Is this what you want to go and stand in a magistrate court to defend? So you don't come and start. I don't know if you understand. Let me go back. I don't want to talk about them. Let me talk consider of Daddy. At least Daddy Gio no go send police after me. Then Daddy Gio now will now come to court and say, this guy, he said this about me, and this thing he said, your worship, if you don't jail him, he will say it more. The last time he said it, I had that attack. They took me to India. This is because you have to bring proof.
Yes.
This is the money I paid in my private jet, and this is what I paid in the India hospital. My lordship, if you keep this guy outside, he's going to kill me. That is how pathetic when pastors are arresting people. That is how it sounds. So when I told the guy that activate plan B, they now sue them, sue Dr. Peter Enenche, especially on fundamental marriage, because the process they even used to take us to prison is faulty. I'm on administrative bail on the 23rd of December. I've not jumped police administrative bail. Even that 23rd, they arrested us. The IPO, Barrister Sadiq, who is a barrister. A barrister solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. He was there. This thing, but I know the guy, one of the very bright, intelligent guy, give it to him.
Yeah.
But they were induced. They were not induced. I retract that statement. They were influenced. The first time they were so professional. I never knew that Nigerian police has evolved to that enviable level. They're so professional the first time. They say, there's no, then when they say there's no case here, I'm gonna go settle now. Brother, I say I'm not his brother. Don't call him my brother. My brother will not bring me here. He brought out bail bond, that they call it, printed it out level 15. I don't know if that level 15 is the thing they went to the magistrate. I don't know what level 15 happens to do to them. Landed property in Abuja and my international passport on the 23rd. Where will I get level 15 from? So if I had not brought that 24, if I had signed it, then the next day they'll say I cannot be there more than 24 hours. I've not met my bail condition. They'll now go to the court and get an order to have done a Christian's planning how another Christian will do Christmas in prison. World largest church. So when my lawyer came in, he now hit my leg and spoke Idoma for me. Barrister John Ochogu, who is Abbas Ochogu's elder brother. He said, I sign up, man. I sign up, man. Say, don't sign it. If you don't sign it, they won't have any legal ground to go to court and get an order. They must give you that bail. But you sleep here till tomorrow. But if you sign it, they have what to go and present to the judge that you have signed bail bond. And they, for what they are saying, the magistrate even was within their everything. Because General John, when we were in prison, General John told them that it's because people are visiting me in prison. That's why I'm even making noise that he can influence me. They will not grant me that bail. So when they were not doing that, okay, apply for the certified true copy. So when he has to apply for the certified true copy, we saw Dr. Peter Enenche, Adama, the one you call Agama. Agama was the first complainant. Dr. Paul was the second complainant, because even the police at FID, they know.
Wait. The name of Pastor Paul Enenche was there as a complainant.
It's on Sahara Reporters. Sahara Reporters. Maybe after I'll Google it and give you the link so you see it. They published it. I don't know where they got it.
And yet he's denying that he's not
aware. When the one came out, he couldn't talk again. Since then, he has not said anything. He's not that. He was aware. Even when they arrested me in police headquarters, I sent a message to his number, and he immediately replied that the message I sent to him was not remorseful enough. Dr. Peter Enenche, you cannot just arrest somebody and say, "Come apologize." That's not apology. Apology should come from a broken heart, not something you induce. Everything about them these days is plastic, is cosmetic. So including apology too, you have to act it. And Dr. Paul is mistaking that when you say something against him, he thinks it's a state and he reigns supreme in that state. So when he has a contrary opinion or he says something he doesn't like, he thinks it's a sin. And now God of vengeance is not reacting, so he now thinks it's a crime. The state should jail you. I don't know if you understand. When the stuff come, we saw their names in it. And somehow, I don't know, it went to Sahara. So I don't want God to say that me go give media. It was on Sahara. So when they saw that and all those stuff, they started begging. They sent people to me in prison. I was the one that stayed there that long. Some of my people now are the system. So this man had mind. After what you said to President Tinubu, he left you. You have the mind to come and influence the system. And what they used is that they went to lie that I was writing against that the Pst Adeboye. I know the IG is also a redeemed member.
Oh.
So most likely when the thing came in, it's a pastor. Nobody, when they say somebody is writing against your pastor, there's every tendency. I don't have proof. Probably it's just minute it down. But that Dr. Paul was out to fight vindictive fight, vengeful, or want to hit his enemies using that as a cover. So probably, I don't know. I don't have any proof. But if you look at it logically. So they just capitalized, it's a redeemed guy. Okay, we can finish this guy and this thing. It was when we were in prison, when they showed them that this is who you take to prison. They saw me and my Tinubu cap. They now started begging. I said I wasn't coming out. That this case must go on. And I know if the case will go on, Dr. Paul must come to court. He's the second complainant. I don't know Adama. Adama cannot press a criminal charge against me.
That is correct.
And police knew that this thing we're doing, they cannot leave only Adama's name, so they put Dr. Paul's name. And General gave statement.
General Enenche.
Yes, his brother. My father was a soldier. I grew up in his military home. I was born at Yaba Military Hospital. And when I call his name in this thing, I feel sad. I feel sad. Because I have great respect for those men. My father told me, anyway, I see a khaki man. As I am like this, talking to you, if I see you fighting soldier outside, even as we talk like this, I go join you and beat you. It is when I enter barrack, I'll ask the guy, say, what happened? I don't need to ask what happened. The moment I see you fight any man in khaki as a barrack boy, We will join you and beat you first. Let it be that the guy took your wife. We don't want to know. You don't touch that khaki. So mentioning his name in this petty matter, it's something. So when we came out, the first day, they say our lawyer beat someone and blah 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 blah. We went back, but General has said it initially that they would deny us bail. So it wasn't. We were not surprised. That was to break our spirit to accept their peace, because even the magistrate didn't want the case to go on. The mess was too much. They told him that we are nobody. They will just do it. So probably he just went with that emotion. So when they saw that the case must go, that's even a case is coming up on the 26th of this month. We've petitioned the magistrate. I told him that I've lost faith in you to handle this case, because you passed judgment on me even before seeing me. In the Nigerian, they call it Agja also. It's even wrong to send people to prison even without even seeing them, because the law stipulates that you should even be sure that they can withstand the prison stress. You can't go and carry a sick person to prison. Somebody who has a viral disease or one communicable disease, take it to prison to go and kill the people in prison. This man sent us to prison without even seeing us. And he cannot even explain that in the Nigerian law. Because when petition comes, it's law versus law. You state the law that gives you that, they gave you that power.
Exactly.
So they are all running from pillar to post. So when they saw that I insisted that the case must go on, he has been blackmailing me. The guy that they used to petition me now, the guy doesn't want to have anything to do with them, because he's feeling bad. That petition cost the guy so much fortune. They thought they were destroying me, but they were destroying the guy's business chances. Very nice guy. I've never seen a nice guy like that guy. Up to now, I don't have any business hating him. So as I round up this, I don't want to even talk much, because I've even said much before now. You know, I'm not really a media person. I like to be very private with my life, do my job, eat my food, and go my way. But I want to let Dr. Paul and Dr. Becky know this, that what I'm saying here is not an attack on you. Every human wisdom on the pulpit right now is failing. Every human wisdom. And Christianity is practically useless without love. If you cannot see love, it's not Christ. If it's not Christ-like, it's not Christianity. I'm not doing this, so I saw the case must go on. So that when they want to call police for anybody, it means you have criminalized the case. Police have to come in and you want to press a charge. Have it in mind that you must come to court. You saw what happened just yesterday when they say Pastor Olukoya, with all due respect to him, and that we took somebody to police station, that they had plea bargain, and the guy had to accept his guilty so that they give him a very light judgment. And they still came back to me and said the guy has been convicted. What happened was that if that case was to go on, Dr. Olukoya will come to court
himself.
And now they say that, oh, you can't come to court. Okay, why can't we just have this? When I was in prison, I told Dr. Paul, I told them what to do. But the Dr. Paul Enenche I know is that instead of him to give what he will achieve, spending 100 naira giving to his enemy, you prefer to spend 1 billion through the other route. For example, if I have issue with you, I say, okay, pay me 10,000 naira and let this thing finish. Instead of me to give you that 10,000 baht, I would prefer to carry 10 billion. Dr. Paul Enenche is the most vindictive and insecure personality I've seen on the pulpit.
Well, how does these guys have this so much influence on the government institution?
What happened is that, let me tell you, they use the miracle to entice people, the anointing to entice people. People around them, some people out there, they are fighting. All of us have issue. Even if you look at that, you have issue. Everybody has 1 or 2 issues. You need spiritual intervention and stuff. It boils down to the flesh. Flesh has entered into it. All Dr. Paul Enenche followers, he didn't lead them to Christ. They are all members of either Equa, Catholic, Methodist. They only use miracle to entice them. So they're out there fighting for miracle. So when they fight for Dr. Paul, they are fighting for the miracle. But Jesus Christ said, love your enemy, pray for those that persecute thee. Jesus said, forgive 70 times 7 in a day.
Well, before we go on, I'd like to say that in spite of the fact, yes, that there are so many of you who are fighting for these people, and you're fighting for them because you think you're fighting for God. You're fighting for them because you think that everything they do, whatever they say, should not be questioned, and everything they do is right. Thank you for that mindset. I want you to understand that it is a mindset of idolatry. Now, irrespective of the fact that we should give honor to whom honor is due. The Bible tells us to respect those who have the leadership over us. So their position as leaders in our churches makes them candidates of honor and respect. But that should not be, the kind of respect that we give to a God, so to speak. Now, the fact that they are our leaders does not make them beyond questioning. All right. Now, Jesus even told us that it should not be so amongst us that one we should be seeking to dominate others. In Matthew chapter 20, verse 26, I just want to lay this foundation, then this video will continue to play. All right. In Matthew chapter 20, verse 26, I want to read the New Living Translation. But among you, it will be different. Whoever wants to be a leader among you must be your servant. And this was when the issue of leadership arose, and the disciples were having cold wars amongst themselves. And the brothers, the two sons of Zebedee, even had their mother coming around to physically and personally address Jesus and ask him that he should permit that two of her sons, one will be by the left hand and one will be by the right hand. So that is human pettiness and selfishness. And when the other disciples heard about it, they were so offended within themselves, and they began to. And Jesus explained to them that the kings and the leaders, the rulers of the world, rule it and lord it over the people that they rule. Now, but amongst them, as being his disciples, Christians, it should not be so. What Jesus advocated for was servanthood leadership. Servanthood leadership. But we, in some cases, we're even the ones making these men feel like they are above human error and correction. Now, one thing I want to say is this, that beyond fighting for, people fighting for them, they have this great influence, that gives them access to politicians. And so they use politicians and, security agents against the people that they lead, against the people, not really the people they lead, against the people, anybody who speaks against them. Now they have confidence, they have army generals, they have commanders, they have police officers, high-ranking police officers, they are connected to the politicians in one way or the other. So this is actually how the influence comes. And because of that same mindset, this is man of God. Nobody should, talk to him like that. I remember my experience when I was detained by the police at the behest of Suleman. I know how they bullied me because of Suleman. They looked down on me as if I was a lesser human being to Suleman. And that is what we are talking about. Okay? That's what we're talking about. There is no way we can just look away from these things and say it doesn't matter. It really matters. It is shameful.
Jesus, it say vengeance is mine. Leave vengeance for me.
It's like they have scraped that part of the
It's
Bible.
not in their Bible. If you talk, you die. Die by fire.
Die by fire.
You have a contrary opinion with theirs, you should die. That mindset is what they brought into politics. And since 2015, their will of God has not seen that so rock. The moment they stand in a place you are not standing with them, you are an enemy. If I just pray God should help him. All this we are saying is not because we hate him. And Dr. Peter Enenche has built a system where you cannot criticize him. You dare not. If you're around him, just telling Daddy you are correct. Daddy, you are doing well. The people are liking you. Oh, people are here. Daddy, I went to one village. I heard your music. That is something he wants to hear. He doesn't want any feedback. He doesn't have the software to take criticism. Look at President Tinubu. What did he say about President Tinubu? What did he say about President Tinubu? What has Reno, Mokri, and Bwala have not said about President Tinubu? What did Tinubu do? Tinubu could see them through those insults. Tinubu could see this one can be my spokesperson. Through the insult, Tinubu can see this guy can be an ambassador. But Dr. Paul, who is a pastor, a supposed preacher of the gospel of Christ, who fought Muslim ticket, who is a preacher of Christ, preacher of love, preacher of forgiveness, preacher of 70 times 7, preacher of if I slap you here, leave this place. Now they carry people go prison. So if Dr. Paul should stand and Peter Noble stand, who is more Christ-like?
And it seems most of the people they use to perpetuate this intimidation and harassment are people who belong to the same church, members of
what
the Christian community.
no, what I've seen around Dr. Paul is, where your system is no longer spirit led, it becomes you just do it because you want to do it. It becomes a problem. You attract all kinds of people. The quality of the actions you take determines the quality of the actions you take determines the quality of the people around you. I've just told you the kind of people around him. Daddy, you are doing well. This is our case. The approach is senior advocate from our Kingsman. He told them that this thing, there's no case here. He has seen this thing now, we are saying now. But they were driven by that vindictiveness. We have
Ego.
connection. We can lock them, nothing will happen. Daddy, we can do it. And you are locking me in Abuja, and your branch in my village was, boys, don't they look and bad. If I was in that place 1 week earlier, you would have had bad news. You are in Abuja insulting a sitting governor, and you see your foe in one place, they don't look, open the file. So as a leader, you don't take action based on how you feel. You take action based on how strategic these actions are. It's like President Tinubu just wakes up now and said, "Oh, Neo Fife has insulted me, dethrone him." Does he have the power? Yes. But does he have the authority? No. Do Dr. Peter Enenche have strong people in his church? Yes. He has senators. I don't even know anyone there. He has judges. Do you have them in your churches? Yes. Can you influence them to take people to prison? Yes. But do you have the authority? No. Do you have the authority in Bible? No. That you have a power doesn't mean you can exercise it. If President Tinubu wakes up today and go and dethrone Totiv or Ataigala, he has the power. I can tell the government, I don't want that man. But you create more further crisis. This clan will say, our son did it and you remove him. Okay, problem has started. Does President Tinubu has the power to use army and flush out all the Fulanis in the bushes? Yes. But the matter is more complicated than it appears. So I feel ashamed that some certain things that Dr. Paul Enenche get himself involved. Does his brother general has a service pistol? Yes. Can he just vest and just waste me? Yes, he can. But does he have the authority? No. Power is not authority. So when you start to abuse power, then there's something fundamental is wrong with the operation. Dr. Paul Enenche, get this to know. I was the MC for your wife's 40th birthday. I've been close around you enough. All the things I've expressed here, my opinion about you, Section 25 gives me the right to have opinion. The wife even went as far as getting somebody to come and bear false witness. The lady is in Texas right now as we speak. They went that petty. They went that messy. So if you know Dr. Paul Enenche of Dunamis International Gospel Center and you love him, pray for him. His weaknesses is pettiness. If pettiness is a calling, he has a full-time calling in pettiness and insecurity. Very petty and very insecure. Anything can trigger him. Any new pastor that entered Abuja triggers him. Anybody that just entered Abuja to start music, all these things that I'm saying, I wasn't let to come and sit down until my spirit say go. It is not attack on Dr. Paul. It is human judgment on the pulpit. Human wisdom on the pulpit that is coming on that judgment. We must go back to Christ. When I see Dr. Paul, I want to see Christ. We want to know who is this Christ. We want to see Christ's love. A time will come, we will not validate your ministry by what you built or what you acquire. We will validate your ministry by how many people have used this ministry to produce. When I see some of his followers on social media, they shame for him. How many deeper life do you see insulting people on social media? How many Christ ambassadors do you see insulting? So the character trait of every follower can be traced to his leader. If your leader is erratic, you are erratic. If he's insultive, you are insultive. Dr. Paul Enenche, I don't hate you. You took me to prison. You caused me pain. I was writing exams. You did everything. You still lied that your hand wasn't involved. When certified to copy coming, your hand was involved. I want to see you in court. Since this is what you have degenerated into, come to court and come and stand as a father or a pastor of the world's largest church and prove that these 2 posts I made. You had others, but they say I did. Your name wasn't mentioned. You cannot use it. You that have bullied me, I have every opportunity to just sign that document and they will release it, and before they come and carry you. I said, no, you carry me to prison. You that have maligned me, you've told people all kinds of things with testimonies, everything fully on fully ground. Now me, you carry go prison. See, I do you cyberbully. I don't forgive you, but come court. Mom said, I want to see you for court. I've told you what to do. If you had done, when we came out of prison, if you had done what I said, there wouldn't have been it for this interview. He would have been in jail, but he won't do it. So I don't want to state more than this. And because of and there are things, see, since this place, God will bless Showore. Showore stood by us. It was Abraham.
Showore is a good man.
It was Abraham that Showore stood by us all through. I'm a pro. Even till now, I'm a pro. Tinubu. He said, don't mention.
Don't wear that cap around me.
Naturally, the man, Tinubu inspires me. I love his leadership and his crisis management skill. I don't know if you understand. Do you know it was Dr. Peter Enenche that becomes president of Nigeria, or Peter Obi becomes president of Nigeria, and they give his brother NSA that it was alleged that they negotiated for him. That the Freeze, they would have built a prison that the Freeze house and built a wall around his house and named it that the Freeze prison. Damina would have been in prison. I don't know if you understand. Me, even the small power, they were trying to negotiate soft landing through redemption camp. He has messed it up. Look at the mess he created. How can you justify you are now taking Tinubu's men to prison? We are trying to do soft landing for his way to go create.
So that reminds me, this the Adama led what's the name? Association of Concerned Youth Christian, blah blah blah. Do you think they are being funded by these daddy Jews?
No, what happened was that, from what I heard, Adama said it in police station that December. The Adama guy wasn't really a bad guy per se. I direct with him. I just believe he was used. He was bragging that they have a deputy governor, they have a minister, they have a senior advocate. It was a group they formed. So and the mistake Dr. Paul is making is that this generation is not your generation. Your generation, you can say anything, people will keep quiet because you have mic. There's no social media, so you can't have feedback. You don't know what they are discussing in their bedroom. This our own. You are talking. Somebody is, and you are saying somebody is being. You are trying to format them to believe in a certain way. Damina is deformatting them with their phone. One pastor in Lagos is telling them on that thing. So nobody really have that grip of control. So these guys, they're not trying to. It's not them to come to terms. If somebody is insulting somebody, go and know what is the grievances. What are the grievances? If Adama had brought a hamper to my house on a Christmas day and said, Enenche, please, I'm a Christian. What happened? Can we resolve this thing? Do you know all these things won't have happened?
You know, that was the same thing I told Adama when we met at the police station. He said he knew me. I said, fine. If you know me, why didn't you reach out to me? People went and wrote a petition against me. A very useless one.
See, Dr. Paul has propensity. Dr. Paul has propensity for writing the most useless petition I ever read.
Yeah.
It doesn't carry water.
So, and then you look at someone like me and feel I'm someone who can just threaten. And I hate threats. Once you begin to threaten,
if you threaten me, I'll do it.
I will take it personal.
Threats brings out me. Threat, I want to see it.
All right. So when I asked him a question. I said, see, this thing you people are doing, I like the fact that you established this kind of organization, but these are the areas I want you people to look at. Look at those who are bringing bad name to the church, not those who are trying to point out these errors. Those so-called pastors and prophets who have turned the Christian community to a business center with all kinds of false prophecies and staged miracles and all of that. If you can bring that sanitation and sanity to the Christian community using your platform, it will be the best thing you would do for Christians, because it is the pastors who are leading people away from the church, not those who are pointing out the errors.
Yes.
But it seems he didn't listen to that.
So he won't listen to that. What they wanted to do is a mafia kind of. That the Geo cannot do that. That the Oyedepo, he cannot really, he can't stop that low. He knows where he is and has placed his place. But Dr. Paul Enenche, on the other hand, like I told you, is petty and insecure. So he has, and see, if Bishop Oyedepo is hearing this, Daddy, with all due respect, sir, Dr. Paul Enenche, your son, is petty. And he has unforgiveness as a weakness. That the next time he brings seed to you, sit him down. He has so many people he has locked up in his heart. All the pastors that have left him are not in his good book. From Umudu, Ayo Adun, until Ayo died. But I know when Ayo was in hospital, there were 1 or 2 gymnasts. But when Ayo was alive, these are people that started the church with him the same day. People can come and leave you. They are not your enemies. You understand? Michael Ajogba, Timothy Akase is dead. The ones that will leave, they will just activate a small campaign network around you, and you start to struggle because you cannot achieve anything without help of man. And what he does is that when you're in that system, they make sure that you inherit their enemies. That's the most useless thing Dr. Paul has ever taught me. The enemy of a father-in-law is your enemy. And these people they call enemies are fellow Christians who believe in the Lordship of Jesus Christ. That's what makes you a Christian.
Just because they have
Just because they
slightly
have
different
slightly
opinion.
opinion or you quarrel with them, you make me to hate people that never offended me. And I look at the Bible, Jesus, what you are telling me is contradict what Jesus said I should do. Why they say your father-in-law enemy is your enemy is to inherit their enemy. So the day you leave the system, they will disconnect you from the system. Then, since you have inherited their enemies, the people you should have built network with are no enemies. So you are stranded within two islands of where you used to have friends who are now see you as an enemy and the enemies you've inherited over the years. So it's a Machiavelli principle to keep you bound. That's why I see when they leave, they get struggled. I left Dr. Paul 2011. I started building network in politics. That's why he's finding it difficult. He cannot, I don't put all those things on social media. My life is on social media. It's finding it difficult to believe because that he cannot, he thought he could but just do the guy like they know that the guy that has built network off your system since 20 level to now. There are people that have known you go and tell them I'm a thief, they'll laugh at you. That this guy has been here, he has not stolen anybody. And the thing is coming from your side, only your side, only your side. So if I don't have any problem with him, I just told you, like, God, if I'm to write a book about Dr. Paul, all the thing I wrote here is what I will write. And it's better let him start hearing it now. He's 50 something, approaching 60. At this point, should be thinking of how to bring people together. That you are jumping on the stage doesn't make you a youth.
Lastly, while you were talking earlier, the beginning of this video, you said something about a nickname you were once, called in your, I think you said secondary school days. Is it propaganda? Why were you called propaganda? Is it because you like propaganda?
In all fairness to you, I never knew the meaning. I just love the name propaganda.
I wanted to be
They were
sure.
calling me propaganda.
Is it that you started this
Then
meeting?
when I left that school and I went to St. Francis College. Then they now call me evangelist or Bosco.
Okay.
So to me it's just
So there was a baptism
It was
from
a baptism.
propaganda to an evangelist.
I didn't know the meaning, but I don't like the way it sounded.
Yeah.
So to me that was it's just fun and this thing. I mean, I lost my dad very early.
Yeah.
So I come from a family background. I'm not used to all this kind of fight. When Dr. Paul was doing certain things, it was strange to me. In all fairness, it was the wife. Even this our prison, I was reliably told, I don't have evidence, that it was the wife
that instigated
it with a brother.
It
was the wife. If the wife doesn't like you, you are gone. She can be laughing like you, but she's not with you. That's mine. Many things there behind is mine.
Oh, wow.
So I'm telling you, if this is ministry is love. Dr. Paul Enenche, if you're running ministry, want to see love, want to see Galatians 5. Bro, Christianity is difficult. Let me tell you, before coming here, throughout last night to this morning, I was praying for Dr. Paul Enenche. You know why? I don't want to talk from the point of hate. When you come to a point you cannot pray for that man, you are slipped into hate. And anything you do from the realm of hate, na flesh. Do you know when Sarah was the reporter that would have broken this, but I begged, please. I don't like attention. Dr. Paul was in EFCC twice with a petition that I have government files in my house. They should come and this year, the Nigeria agencies are still professionals among them. They almost disgraced him. You know, maybe you think you have one member has one member, or one GO has.
Yeah, you have what kind of government files?
He went there on himself, pastor of the world's largest church. Look at what he has turned himself into. So they told him, get out. It was report that was to enter Sahara. I begged, please. At times I was here, they said this. They told me, and then when they said I should do this. Dr. Paul Enenche, see, the era of blackmail, smear campaign, you don't like this pastor, you just say all kinds of things, has gone. These days now, after the election, people even try to, anything you say, people try to go and verify now. Because before now, you make them feel you are assistant God, chief of staff to heaven. So they look you with that eye. But now, people now try to, they ask themselves questions. I don't have anything against him, but his followers are what, the man is a human being, he has his human effort. Not be everybody they see woman they trigger. But some people have unforgiveness as a weakness. Some people are very vindictive. How do you know that? Look at their operations over the years. Ask Dr. Paul Enenche, where is King Omudu? Where are the families of Ayo Adu? Where are the families of Patrick Ugbeku? Where are the families of Timothy Akasi? Where are the families of Pastor Saboyaro? These are some of them are late. They labor with him, they left him, they become enemy of the system. Where is Pastor Adaji? Adaji is the one in Merit House. When I know that Abraham was going to media, I went to meet Pastor Adaji. Adaji raised us. I said, Abraham is going to media. Dr. Paul, this thing must not go to media. He begged me to call Abraham. I called Abraham. Abraham came to his office at Merit House. He told Abraham, he even tried to convert Abraham to Christ. They argue Bible. Abraham didn't accept. So he now said, Abraham, okay. He now called Dr. Paul's PA and related, this guy is here. His grievances is the car. The grievances are one, the car and his marriage and stuff like that. And he believes that Dr. Paul played prominent role in it. Dr. Paul believes in, he can enter you, he will tell you me A, B, A, and tell this one B. I have people like that. No, now just they fight. Adaji now said, Enenche called me. Okay, he has called them. If it were only the car, Pastor Adaji would have said, okay, Abraham, take your car and leave my father-in-law alone. But I know Dr. Paul. He has this kind of vindictive system. If you give his enemy food, eat, you are his enemy. If you give his enemy water to drink,
problem.
For 26 days we were in prison. Dr. Paul or Adama, they didn't bring water to us in the prison because they don't know when Jesus said, when I was in prison, he visited me. They don't know that one. They only know how to take people there. When Pastor Adaji talked to Abraham, he did not talk to the PA. He now told Abraham he's going to get back to him. When Abraham left, he now called me and said, Enenche, please do anything possible. Let me not go to media. Why I'll be following up from behind. Please. And I begged Abraham. Abraham said, okay, since I said Pastor Adaji, I stopped. He will not go to media. But they should give him his car. Adaji was trying to be managing the stuff. Then he now went, that December, they went to invite him. Abraham, after they arrested me, they went to invite Abraham, Adama. Abraham was running from pillar to post. You know, after the way they invited me, I wrote it on social media. They felt embarrassed.
Yeah.
So they now start to write to officially. They now wrote to Abraham wrote to his brother Alex. So when they wrote to Abraham and his brother Alex, Abraham was running from pillar to post. He went to meet Ogashowore. I said, why are you going? Those police guys are very professional. In all offense, I still have great respect for them. Even though I don't know what happened, later happened, they pushed me to prison. He said, Enenche, this man has taken me to prison twice. I know what will happen. You are the one looking at this time. I'm not looking at it like that. Then Sahara Reporters now broke the news of his invitation. That was when somehow, he was to come to your studio.
Yes.
It was Pastor Adaji that stopped him from not coming. He was on his way here already. And I raised the alarm to Pastor Adaji. If you allow, Abraham is going to media. This man, we have problem with him, but we don't want to escalate it. It's our own. So it was when they invited him that he came here. The day he was coming here, he said, I should bring him here. I said, I don't want the angel of the commission to come and be disturbing my car, please. And he came here and talked about that miracle stuff and stuff like that. There's nothing anybody could have done. But when we were in prison, Dr. Paul was telling people that I was working with Abraham. Ask Dr. Paul, have you ever prayed for Abraham Daniel? It should be a shame. Your former pastor now is an atheist. You should be crying every day. If you have the heart of Christ, that thing should break your heart. That I was working with Abraham. When he locked Abraham and his brother in the prison, I was one that went to give them food.
It became a problem.
It became a problem. You don't finish. I don't have anything to see. The only thing is that he has taken me, Dr. Paul Enenche, you have taken me to prison. Let me tell you, and see in this life and our next life, I know they fear you again. Don't let this be the last time you ever think of taking anybody to prison. Next time, when that your spirit of vindictiveness and unforgiveness, that your petty spirit, when it jumps on you, let it be that if you want to go police and take anybody to prison, have it in mind that any case you are instituting as a criminal, you must appear in court. So that you don't go and disgrace yourself as if you don't have lawyers in your church. I see you in court. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. And I will be saying one of a few things here. And I will let you be the judge here. Now, there were some people mentioned, but let me start with Suleman. Suleman was not mentioned in this video, but you see what triggered me to upload this part of the video was that what this young man was saying became fresh with him, even though that, in my own case, I was released Within 3 days, I was released, even though that I was harassed to be returning to Abuja until we take the certain decisions that we took. That has, quietened it down for now. All right. And you see, it is so disheartening to hear this about pastors, about preachers, about men and women of God. We know that nobody likes criticism, all right? Now, the only person that likes criticism is somebody who wants to amend his way, somebody who looks at himself and believes and understands that, yes, I'm not perfect, there must be some room for improvement. And so this person said, even though that it is very bitter and very, very strong, let me sit back and find out what actually is it that this person is saying. But it is not so with some of our big men of God, and it is very disheartening. Now, the reason is this, one of the reasons is this, is that they surround themselves with people that can never tell them the truth in the place that they lead. Now, the people that they put around them are the people that will always tell them, oh, yes, sir, oh, yes, sir, yes, sir, you are correct, even when the person is absolutely wrong, even when the person is heading towards disgrace and dishonor. They will tell him, right on, sir. I mean, if God cannot speak to him, who is the head, who is the visionary, who are we that God can speak to us? Some of the people around them won't even make them to feel that they are impeccable, they are infallible, they cannot make mistakes. So with that, kind of cult hero status built around them, they want to take it outside of the confine of the church. And so this is the problem. So Suleman came at me that time just because I criticized the message he preached and the lies he told against the character of Paul and even the image of Christ. And so you needed to see what the policemen were doing, how the police who handled the case, at first they were very friendly. At first they made me feel okay, that they were not here to witch hunt me. They were just there to make sure that nobody was against the other person. But when they began to manifest their true color was when they asked me to write my statement. I wrote my statement, and they were practically forcing me to admit in writing what Suleman said I did to him. Now that was when everything went better. That was when now the true color and the true nature of this people came to the fore. Now, credit to some of them as well. There were some of them, even though that they knew the truth and they voiced out the truth, but they were saying it in hushed tones because of their ranking and their position. And when the man who was handling it, would speak, even when he tried to intimidate me and bully me, but at some point in time, you would see that the man was under strict instruction to make sure that this person doesn't go scot-free. Now, coming from a pastor, pastors that cannot forgive, pastors that are very vindictive in nature. Now, this gives us the reason to question. He said he asked a question, how many deeper life people? Now, I'm not here to hold grants for anybody. How many deeper life people are there, being vulgar on the social media? Hardly will you find any. Hardly will you find any of these places where the pastors are assumed to be gentle, are assumed not to be vulgar. Now, but whenever you see any congregation that the pastor will stand on the pulpit and will talk trash, we say all kinds of things. Now I'm moving away from Enenche in particular now, but you see now, no fruit falls far apart from the tree. Of course. Now I've had followers and pastors, young pastors from Suleman, send me threats. Someone even called me and warned me that I was going to be killed. Right? Now, this is, of course, I don't need to tell you what kind of words do come out from the man himself. And people have been talking about Pastor Paul, that he is arrogant, he speaks with pride and all that. Me, I'm not accusing him of that, but we see these things by ourselves, right? Of course, mentioning Pastor Adeboye, the last case that he had, he came out by himself and asked for the guy to be released. Now, my question and concern about these people is that they reference Pastor Adeboye as their spiritual father, but none of them takes cue. None of them takes. How many persons has Adeboye arrested? Irrespective of how you see Pastor Adeboye, But tell me, how many people has he arrested? Who has been criticized the most? Who has been vilified the most? Who has been called the worst names, a occultic name and all that? Adeboye, but he has never ever. If you have a record, maybe I wasn't born then, But there has not been, not to my own knowledge, even the man in Winners Chapel, Bishop Oyedepo. I don't know. I've not heard of him arresting anybody. Okay, but these are people that this younger generation of preachers and general overseers refer to as their spiritual fathers. Now, are they only spiritual fathers when it comes to tithing, giving them money and bringing them up to come and preach on your pulpit? But then you can easily intimidate people, bully people. See, I'm not saying that you don't have the right to seek for justice if your name has been tarnished, but there is a way to do it. You don't manipulate. You don't try to influence the outcome of it. Okay? You see, you need to be there. Those of you that are defending them, I don't know if I should pray that you will experience it. You need to be there to understand the pain that people go through in the hands of these your spiritual fathers. You see the citation he made referencing a case between Pastor Olukoya and the young man. You see all those things. All those things. Well, anyways, like it or hate it, these are not examples that Christ would set. And Christ has never set this kind of example. Christ will not set this kind of example. Christ will not be in support of this kind of attitude. No way, not Christ. And so if we are Christians and we are preaching in the place of Christ, forgiveness and forbearance, and we are vindictive. Tell me, what then is the hope of the church? Anyways, thank you very much. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Till then, from me to you. Shalom.